Possible is possible. Yeah.
Impossible is possible. Do you live by this? I guess how would you talk about that?
Well, I don't try to just give people KPIs that I think aren't possible just to torture them. I just like, I think most people, when you ask them to do something like very incredibly difficult, like what I first did, I want to bury myself alive for a week. Like people's first inclination is just, that's not possible. And like, technically almost anything is possible. It's just like, so my first thing is just like, why do you say that? Like, let's go through the gambit. And then they'll always be like, well, it's just not possible. And then you just have to be like, go do the fucking research. And then they'll come back and it's like, is it too expensive? Because we can figure out ways, is it too unstable? We can navigate safety or whatever it is. And so it's like, I hate when people tell me something can't be done. Just tell me the cost and like what the problems are.
Where the bottleneck is.
Yeah, and then then let's look at those. And objectively, if it's too expensive or something that's not worth investing the time into or what, then that's fine. And then I'll kill it. But just tell me something, because like half the stuff I did, if I just listened to people and they told me it wasn't possible, like I wanted the Eiffel Tower for a video. Not possible. Why is that not possible? Go get the fucking Eiffel Tower. Like, until the head of the president of France tells you no, it's possible. Like, I don't. Well,
and then when he says no, ask his kids. See if they have some sway over
have
him.
to give him while you're on the phone. Like, we just filmed a video where we had the 3 pyramids of Egypt, and we were like, you know, spending, like, we were there for 100 hours. This crazy video. We explored the pyramids. It's like my favorite video ever. Same thing. Like, you can't just have the 3 pyramids. I'm like, did Egypt tell you that? Like, what do you mean? Go make some phone calls. You know what I mean? And it's just constantly, even today, when I'm not with my core group that I've trained very well, it's just always like, you can't do that, or no, or they'll go make a phone call, or okay, fine, Jimmy, we'll go try to get the pyramids. They'll go away, they'll come back a day later. You can't have the pyramids. I'm like, who'd you call? This tourist guy who like works at the pyramids. I'm like, okay, call the head of tourism. Like, well, how do you get their number? Okay, well, that's different. You didn't ask me how to get the head of tourism's number. You asked me, you just told me it was not possible. Like, so now, like, please don't do that again. Like, we got to figure out what the problems are. Let's figure it out. And then we make calls and you figure it out. And next thing you know, and so it's just like, that's a big thing that you have to, like, if you really, in my opinion, want to innovate and do things that are, you know, have never been done before and push boundaries, you have to like have a mindset amongst your people that it's not, nothing is impossible. It's just, how much does it cost? How do you do it? And then you just make an objective decision.
It seems to me like when you solve these impossible problems, you have to think on like a lower level rather than a higher level. Have you heard the story of Elon getting his rockets from Texas to Florida where they launched them?
No.
So the normal way everyone gets their rockets to Florida is on a barge, right? But it takes like 3 months and costs a bunch of money.
Didn't he fly it there?
He drove it there. He's
Okay.
like, no, we're going to drive it instead. And they're like, well, it's way too big. Like,
Well, first answer was,
it's impossible.
can't do it.
Yeah.
and he said, let's go. And he has a great line, which is, physics are the only laws. Everything else is a suggestion.
Yeah.
And he's like, is it physically impossible to get it to Florida? No. Okay, we agree on that. Great.
Yeah.
Now let's continue to figure out where the
Yeah.
bottleneck is. And it's like, oh, the boat, too long, too expensive, whatever.
And so well, it's impossible to get it through overpasses. And so he's like, well, what would be the shortest way to get there without encountering a single overpass? So they go, they do this like extremely circuitous route all on back roads. And they're like, but even if we do that, there's still a problem with power lines and telephone wires. And so they have like some of the smartest people on earth driving in a van in front of these rockets with big poles. And they just push up the telephone wires so we can go under. And then they go to the next telephone wires. And it's just like, you just have to like approach it like a caveman almost to like beat the impossible. Do you find that's the case a lot?
Yeah, quite a bit. And a lot of it is just a willingness to, it's just people who love what they do, and people who really love problem solving will, you know, figure these things out. And so it's just having the right person in the right seat at the right time who like actually wants to go deep. And like people, there are certain people where you give them something that seems impossible and they will be giddy and they'll be like, yeah, I can't wait. Like I have people like that where I could call and be like, what's something?
They don't wake up until it's hard.
Well, it's like, I guess if I wanted a different world wonder, if I was like, I want the Taj Mahal for a week, right? And they're like, people at my company, if I called and said that, like, I promise you they would smile and be like, okay. Like they'd see that as a challenge. They'd go to war to figure it out. And then not in my company, but just there are other people that you would say that and they'd be like, oh my God. And so you just got to get the right people who just deeply enjoy solving problems and like see it as a challenge. And like there are people built that way, and those are the people that really succeed in that environment.
By the way, that's a spoiler. I think that one we kind of copied number 8, which is
no
doesn't mean no way. And there's a big difference between no
impossible
and no way.
is possible, and no doesn't mean no. Exact same thing. Yeah.
And I like the clarification you had, which was like, you're not just like the asshole boss that's like, I need this impossible thing done, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's more like, hey, I want to do this impossible thing, or I want to do this great thing. No, okay, let's get curious before we just like make a decision here.
Yeah.
Why? Well, and let's try to understand it. And if it truly is no, which it rarely is, fine.
Yeah.
But it's usually not. And then the cool thing is if you do that in the company, do it once, people are like, oh, wow, that was interesting. Do it twice. By the third time you do it, people are like, all right, like that's the way, right?
By
It's
the
contagious,
50th
right?
time, but
Like,
yeah.
you know, it's like a religion. People start to believe when they see it, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
need your employees. For me, it tends to take a couple dozen times for it
well,
to
I'll
stick.
keep pointing at it. I'm like, you guys remember what we said and then what happened? Let's like,
Yeah.
let's take that and that's a rally cry for us now. Like we can do all these things, right? Let's immortalize that.
You just watched a podcast called My First Million. In that podcast, you saw the guest, MrBeast, an internet personality with almost 400 million subscribers, talk about this concept that I want you guys to further understand. And also, I'm explaining this because I really like this concept and I'm trying to practice this every day. Impossible is possible if physics allows it. Now, you can understand how people say, you know, oh, well, it's impossible to start that business. It's impossible to get shredded. It's impossible for making my first $1 million or making X amount of cash. It doesn't matter. You keep limiting yourself. You keep holding yourself back. Why are you stopping yourself before even the world tells you no? Start thinking how, not if. How? How can I do this? Stop telling yourself that you cannot do this. Stop telling yourself that you will not be able to do this. Is it because other people are telling you that? And then you start getting these own thoughts saying that, oh, well, if other people say this to me, then I also believe that I can't do this. You are your number one cheerleader right now. So you need to tell yourself, I can do this. I just need to figure out a different way, or I need to approach this way differently. Everything has been done. People have done the things that you were trying to do, or maybe not. If physics allows it, it's possible. Impossible is possible. If you like these types of videos where we talk about these different concepts and into self-improvement or the genre of improving your life on a daily basis, and if you're interested in supporting a local brand, then please check out thehumblstart.store. If you guys are interested in subscribing, it's free, does not cost a cent, and it also lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. Please check out all of our social medias to stay up to date with our humble journey. We're doing this all together. If you guys want to join the journey and be with like-minded people, then we're all here for you. We want you to be the best. So lock in. It only goes up from here. Let's go!